I'm just going to do a short video today of this Magnifica anemone, which has had quite a lot of interest in since I bought it. A lot of people struggle with the Magnifica anemone for one reason or another. Now, I found they're not that difficult an enemy, really. If you get your water quality correct, which obviously it should be for any coral reef tank, the next thing you need to concentrate on is not just the light, but the quality of that light. Now, on this tank I've got OPEC icons and a couple of OPEC light bars. Two of them are blue plus and one is a day plus on the light bars. Now that isn't more than enough, really, you would think, to keep this Magnifica nice and healthy. And to be honest, it more or less is. However, what I have found with a lot of Magnificas is that they prefer a light spectrum closer to daylight, around about 6,500 kelvins. Magnificas are mainly found, or collected shall I say, but mainly found near the surface on the reef, to the extent which some of them are all but left high and dry on low tide. Given that they're so close to the surface, you could see why daylight would be a preferable spectrum for this particular anemone. So what I did and found out some years ago is that adding some light, or more light, in the 6,500 spectrum did seem to benefit the anemone and make it that much nicer and help it grow better. Certainly seemed to be healthier with that kind of light thrown in. What I discovered some years ago was these little things here, these little spotlights. Now these are Lomini Aster 20s, designed for freshwater tanks, in particular freshwater plants. Now these are 6,500 Kelvin and are rated somewhere in the region of 16 watts each. Now I've got them there mounted, you can see, on one of the brackets of the Orpex, pretty close to the surface of the tank, just a few inches off, and probably no more than 6 inches away from the surface of the anemone. Now these come with a basic on-off dimmable remote control, and here's one over here, and this is simply dims by revolving it and switches it on and off. I have them on a simple plug-in timer, and they're on for around about 5 hours a day to give that extra bit of light in the daylight spectrum. Getting back to an anemone, that's now somewhere in the region of a foot across, I would say. I don't feed it very often, no need to when it's getting enough light, but I do occasionally give it a little bit of prawn, a bit of shrimp as an extra treat. And when I do that, it does tend to blow itself up the following day a bit bigger, stretches out a little bit more, maybe as much as 15 inches across, 14-15 inches from its current 12-inch. Don't want to get it too big because it's already doing a little bit of damage to that Gorgonian there, and the edge of that chalice is getting a bit stung, so no need for it to get any bigger really. So I'd like to keep it round about that size. Got resident clowns in there, female and a male, that spawn under the rockwork. Can't see it very well, but they do spawn quite regularly there. Just like to snuggle up into an enemy, especially when I come close. If I come back a bit, they're a bit more likely to come out. So that's my Magnifica anemone. The other thing that they do like, of course, as you can see with it, is plenty of water movement. Not direct movement, but it's getting a fair bit of flow. Tentacles you can see are swaying around, and certainly the clowns enjoy it. They love to frolic with an anemone, enjoy life in there. I'd never keep clowns without an anemone, and this is the ideal one for them. This is one of their native anemones. I do have a bubble tip down here, as you can see, it's well wedged into the rock, that they were resident in until I got the Magnifica. They never bother with the bulbs now that they've got the Magnifica. That's their anemone home, and they don't give the bubble tip a second look anymore. So that's the Magnifica anemone. Beautiful anemone, I'm sure you'll agree. Not that expensive when you consider what corals go for these days, and how beautiful it is, and it certainly is the centerpiece of my tank. Thank you for watching.